Wait, is it fun facts? Wait, is it fun facts? And/or album? And/or album?
Yeah, album.
Album.
Yeah, you better have a lot of fun. You better have a lot of fun facts for this one.
Yeah, he filled it. Yeah, he filled it.
Two of the songs on Flux were featured in 15, and it has this one kid that I played with, who my friend who invited me down actually taught how to play, had a hole-in-one.
Oh,
So,
what?
Shouts out Zach Appel. You know?
That's
Wow.
like what happened to me.
That's some big type. Let's get
Let's get straight to
I
it.
don't have any.
Okay, good.
I don't have any.
So today we are reviewing a personal favorite of mine. It is called Adventure by Madeon. Madeon's first full-length LP. Madeon is he is a French-based EDM artist. EDM. Yeah, he started creating music when he was actually around like 10 years old, and he got famous for his music. And he had this idea to jumble together 39 pop songs that he loved. And so he went out, bought a launch pad, and the same day recorded this video of him doing it live. It's called Pop Culture. And within a few weeks, he had over 1 million views on YouTube.
In usual scuffed fashion.
No, you guys can.
We're gonna have wait, Scott. Did you listen to the full deluxe edition too, or?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on like the same page.
Scott the super. Did you just ask the super fan if he listened to the deluxe? Come on.
Damn, again, the split screens are split up.
Oh. All right, initial
good.
thoughts.
Sex Pistols. Someone besides me go first.
Oh, initial thoughts.
Besides me, go first too.
My initial thoughts, I was playing Doom Eternal. Initially, I was sort of so-so on it. I didn't totally get into the lyrics or listening to what he was singing, understand the, all the layers, and I wasn't breaking apart it to that level that you kind of have to do to deduce or analyze an electronic. It was consistent, I think. I think it was a consistent record.
It was a little up and down. I really liked the first 3 tracks. Even the intro I thought was really good. It sets the tone for the album, which wanted me looking for a great closer. Unfortunately, I didn't get one. In my opinion, I was a little underwhelmed in terms of the home, right? That's where I'm going as the last track.
For my first listen, I kind of was similar to Vic, playing lawn games with my family while I listened to it for the first time. So my attention was kind of like split. It wasn't all on the music. I still enjoyed it. I thought the features were good, but just the first time through, I liked it. As I kept listening to it, it grew on me.
And this question's kind of directed at you, Victor. Did you just feel droned out by the 4 on the floor, or were you kind of...
No, I like this kind of music. There, you can take aspects of any genre and like be like, oh, this certain kind of sound or timbre like is in every song or whatever. It wasn't annoying to me. I don't know. I was feeling like really E9'd out in that last video. I don't know if you guys remember.
I mean, I liked it, but I think it would have been nice if he switched it up at least a couple times. Kind of had the 4 on the floor, 1-2 bass snare combo, which works well, obviously, in the genre. It's like that's kind of a staple. Threw in some like fills with different sounds, like some toms or something else, to just change it up every so often,
Like all over the place. Like I said, but some songs I could clearly depict. I was like, all right, this is pretty standard house, like very formulaic. But then other songs like Imperium, I fell in love with because he was so experimental and so industrial. He changed up the drums.
Yeah, so how did you guys feel about transitions between the intro into like You're On? Did you think those flowed well, or do you think it was kind of choppy?
So like the first 3 tracks like flowed right into each other, but I don't know if there were like any other tracks that stood out to me in terms of flow.
He did a good job of leading songs into the next, because it just like kind of kept going. Like I would put it on and then...
Songs like Isometric really point me in the way of Porter Robinson. Maybe, Scott, you're familiar with his work. Clear inspiration drawn from Porter Robinson because it's very like 8-bit retro, like video game sound, which he does on World.
From flow, from song to song, and also through the whole record. I think the first 2 songs was crazy, from Isometric to You're On. I was like, but then I think it was You're On into Okay. Like it was a super awkward. It was like, and then it was such an awkward transition. Later tracks focus like maybe more on the instrumentals and the ups and downs of EDM as they go, the structures. I wish he would experiment with more maybe tempo changes, or because he has the chops, like he knows how to program shit. Like he could do more than what he's doing. It seemed like sort of a bunch of songs made in a similar vein.
Some of it has to do with the similarities, vocal features. I felt like it's hard to really distinctly name a feature that stood out because they all sound pretty similar on this record. weird.
You're on La Lune, Pay No Mind all had features, and then Beings is actually Madeon himself singing.
Personally, I was not a fan of most of the vocals. I thought they were sort of by the numbers EDM vocal. And a lot of the time, I guess in EDM, they use their vocals as more of an instrument, right? Like Vox or like shit like that, you know? Like it's like an instrument. Because I wanted to hear their voice come out and with less auto-tune, and like I wanted to hear like the crackling in the voice, and like, you know, that's like a big part for me is hearing the vocals and hearing all aspects of the voice instead of just like sort of like an instrument. And I think it was better when the features were better at singing than Madeon. I think he just didn't bring a lot to the table in any of his vocals.
I guess as a whole for the album, like the vocals, they kind of helped me latch onto the songs more and helped like keep my attention instead of the instrumentals. I saved for a couple songs. I think I like the features more, especially on Beings. I just didn't really connect with me. I like, you know, the Passion Pit feature. I like the Mark Foster feature a lot as well. I thought he had a good voice.
Vic, log off chess. Maybe you won't stop lagging.
Do you remember which part of the song it's in?
Yeah. Like, what did you guys think of the more upbeat songs? Did you prefer those, or did you prefer the kind of slower, more ballady?
I definitely did not prefer the Innocence. I thought that was probably like the most boring song on the track. My highlights are like, I guess, the faster ones.
Preferred the more up-tempo songs. Easier to like get involved with like physically, and you know, I just move with the drums and stuff a lot more easily with those faster tempo songs. I didn't dislike Innocence. It just didn't really stick out to me as like a great track. I think the ones that moved faster and were a little more punchy, more memorable because I was involved with them more, you know?
That's one of the things, like, I've always thought he's better at doing those more upbeat, up-tempo, almost like club banger. Yeah, Pay No Mind, like, and You're On, like, those two, like, you could play on most radio stations and no one would, like, bat an eye.
Hold up, I have to
What do you guys think of the lyrics? Oh, Jesus.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What did you guys think of the lyrics? Did you connect to any of them at all?
When he said open up your ass and don't look back.
If he's going to include lyrics and vocals, I guess that's like sort of the dilemma that I come to. I think Pay No Mind had the most playful lyrics and had the best story to tell. And how are we gonna Besides that, I really like, what is the song called? You're On. I thought that was like the most complete song. I thought it was like just like an interesting way to approach, like, you know, whose side are you on when really like there's no right side to be on in a relationship, obviously. So I thought that was an interesting way to come at it. I think those were like the best lyrical ideas.
I missed some of the lyrics just because they kind of slipped through with all the but I did like the vocals a lot or the lyrics a lot in You're On. I like the hook a lot in Nonsense.
I kind of like, I just loved the lyrics because they were fun and playful. And I know You're On is the hit. It was like designed to just be a pop song. He wrote the song because he loves pop music. He works with Lady Gaga,
Imagine loving pop
Coldplay,
music.
and
Oh my god.
I know. Imagine being
That
type of-
shallow.
But yeah, I think like Beings is like is well written to me. I think don't be afraid to become who you are. It's kind of funny because one of my favorite songs is just the word okay over and over again. So the lyrics can't really connect to that one.
I have a hard time taking like lyrics seriously in pop songs because it feels like they're just written to be like popular, right, and not to be like really deep and stuff.
My next one was just going to be what you thought about the additions in the.
I thought that the album ended with Finale the first time because I never thought to look up the track list. I liked Icarus and Finale a lot. I think Finale should have been the end of the actual album. I mean, I kind of liked The City, and then after that, not so much. I think Technicolor was kind of good, but it was too long. With listening to the deluxe album, I found is that by the time I got to those like last 4 or 5 tracks, I had been listening to this album for so long.
I don't like Only Way Out. That's like for me the only song that I really skip on this album every time. I think that you guys would actually really like Cut the Kid because I think it's the most similar to Okay. Evan, it sounds like you do. Like, did you not think there was like enough originality, like enough original ideas to keep you listening for the entire hour duration?
Oh yeah, I'll go first. Thank you, Victor. Jesus. It was, like I said, like plenty of times, it was a bit of a roller coaster. There was low points in terms of like the track list, but then there was like a weird high that you would get with songs like Imperium and also Pixel Empire. Like I said before, the first 3 are really good. Then it takes a bit of a lull. Definitely in terms of originality, I think he just sticks to his formula. Nothing too crazy going on there. You can definitely see him coming into his own skin on some tracks, but other songs, I think he's kind of just just sticking to like the bread and butter like formula.
I don't think he was really going for like an original sound like at all. Like, and I think that's fine. I don't think it has to be super original. It just has to, you know, use his tools well. I mean, like most albums, you're gonna think there should be cuts. Some of the middle tracks, like Zephyr, Beings.
I definitely understand what you guys are saying here with the lulls. There's definitely some points where I lose focus on this album. Most notably, it's definitely Innocence for me.
I'd probably cut like Beings or Zephyr.
Can't believe you guys are really gonna cut Zephyr Teach out like that. That's tough.
Wait,
Drop a comment if you understand that joke.
I don't remember who that is.
Which type of song did you guys think worked better, the instrumentals or the ones with vocals and lyrics?
Let me move this over.
I would like the more like the more ambitious instrumental focused songs like without any vocals. I do like Imperium. I really like the industrial sounding synths that really drive the song, and then Pixel Empire, which was super glitchy, which reminded me of OK a lot, which was also pretty glitchy. Chopped that very well. I guess I like the more instrumental ones.
I think the sampling is pretty tight. I don't like the OK sample. Basically an instrumental song. I think for the most part he has good sampling, like Euron, OK, things like that. And I definitely liked Imperium and Pixel Empire. I wanted more of the sounds to pop like in Imperium. So I would say instrumental. I don't think the vocals popped enough.
So trying to build off that, I was playing this before while I was making dinner, this album, just listening to it again. And I forget what song was on, but my brother was in the room and he was like, this sounds like you could put it over like behind like a YouTube video of like the montage or something like that.
Montage music. I guess for me it depends on like when I'm listening to it. Like if I'm seriously sitting down and listening to it, I feel like I'd probably prefer Imperium and Pixel Empire. But if I'm just like listening to it on a car ride or just like doing something with friends, I'd rather listen to the lyric poppy ones because it's more fun to, you know, move to.
But I think like overall for me, if I had to pick one, it would probably be the vocals. Hot take. They're infectious, groovy.
With that being said, like what do you guys think you'd like to see more out of with this album?
We're all gonna say the same thing, I think.
Like going forward, like what do you guys think? Yeah,
different drums would be great. I think maybe not. He doesn't have to do like a whole song of like funk drums or something, but just like a couple, just like fills or something, a couple like maybe breaks, just to switch it up, to change up more songs like Imperium, or just like things that switch up from the very four on the floor like thick synth passages.
A little bit more experimental, because when he did that, I thought he did it pretty well. Get some features with singers with maybe some more range, or just bring the vocals out and like change your mixing of your songs. Cut some of the instruments out when the vocals are, let the vocalist go, just go at it and see if you can build from there. Yeah, but maybe I would like to see like a more female singer on one of his songs.
There's a lot of layering, and then there's the vocals that are sort of a layer, and there's all these things going on. It's sort of a video game soundtrack. It's sort of a pop, album. I think he does the layering well, but I think he should focus on like the sounds, because he produces good sounds. But I don't always like this sort of grand adventure like type shit where it's like all these layers and everything's going off. Like the house it would be easier for them to come out if it was less grandiose. Pay No Mind had like the most stripped back instrumental, but it wasn't really stripped back because there was still tons of layers, but it was the most like poppy. I wish more structured like that. He could still have his sections with layers, but like
they had different songs focused on different parts of the mix. Like, have a song that's like or focused around like a cool bass line, or focused around like a cool drum part, or your keyboard part or something. It just felt like a lot of the songs were just like really dense like synths, and then like the four on the floor drums. And, he could have looked at different instruments and made them the focus of different songs.
In Pay No Mind, there was a cool little solo. I don't remember what instrument it was, but it was almost like a synth solo, but it went by very fast. I personally was a big fan of it, and I want to see him do more with like some more solo instruments.
So do you think that you could see like the seeds that he was planting in this album start to bloom in the newest era, so to speak, of his music?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Good Faith is an improvement on all fronts of Adventure. He lets instruments rock by themselves. He does breakdowns in the middle of the song so they don't get boring. His voice has improved on Good Faith.
I was torn between picking, but I ultimately landed on this one just because I remember finding it in my bedroom. It was probably like, I don't even know, it was some late night like crate digging on Apple Music, I had just like listened to Language by Porter Robinson, and that was like the only song that I like really enjoyed by him, and this was recommended, and so I started listening to it, and I kind of just fell in love, and that's where I got into it.
Yeah,
Started
and
listening.
I'm glad I
Start at the
listened to
beginning.
Adventure because there are some highlights, and I think there are some of his best songs are on Adventure.
Does he only have those 2 albums?
Yeah,
What a
it's only those
bitch.
two.
Only 2 albums. Come on.
Got him.
Get him
so
out of here.
Get lunch or dinner sometime. Just like let us know if you'd ever be available. Ghosted.
Why are we still here?
Favorite
Best songs?
tracks.
I can't make a
You
G.
pull up the track list again.
Least favorite tracks is
We don't
one
like-
we've
Favorite tracks, You're On, Okay, Imperium. Least favorite tracks, The Lulz. Oh boy, which one of the many? No, I'm just kidding.
Jeez.
Let me pull up my notes.
I'll first listen an hour ago.
Oh yeah, Innocence, of course. The most boring track in the
Of
album, in my
course.
opinion. How can I forget about Innocent Old Innocence?
But he's innocent, bro. You wouldn't kill an innocent man.
And Beings as well. I thought the chorus was meh. Wanted more from the vocals. Pretty uninspired track.
Isometric was pretty hard.
So
You're
short.
on is I think Pixel Empire.
What the?
Oh shit! Shots popping out the AR. No, people just gas the fireworks. But we're just gonna continue through the fireworks. Least favorite. Least favorite. I don't think my mic will even pick it up. Okay.
Sorry, I was lighting off my fireworks.
I'm gonna count Isometric and You're On as one track because it kind of like.
Oh,
acts
you're
like that.
gonna delegitimize
you
my
can't do
picks.
that.
You're gonna delegitimize my picks now. Okay.
It's still gatekeeping. Holy.
Chief.
Pay no mind. Definitely Imperium finale. And then my least favorite, Innocence.
My favorite songs are the whole album. You're On as well. Then I'm gonna go with Cut the Kid. That's one of my favorites. You guys didn't hear that one, but definitely check it out. Least favorites, obviously Innocence, and Only Way Out.
If this was Carlos's pick, I'd say 2 out of 10. No, I'm just kidding.
But I already went, and you. What did you give it?
I gave it like
How
the
many-
highest
how many
score,
do you have
okay?
in that?
But that was before you gave Be Happening a 2 out of 10.
Adventure Non-Deluxe Standard Edition by Madeon. If you're into EDM and house, definitely check this out. I think he has some of his best, some of his worst songs
He's ever made.
There are some highlights.
Ever. His worst songs ever on this album.
He only has 2 albums.
And don't forget it.
Oh wait,
Bro, wait, I got a firecracker in the closet. I'll bring it up.
it's a bit of a roller coaster of an album. Definitely highs and lows. So I'm going to give it a 6.
There's a lot of room for improvement. You know, as we said earlier, the things he could have changed to do better. I think a lot of the songs are still great to listen to. They're a lot of fun. So I think for a number, I think I'm going to give it like a 7 flat.
All right. Remember when you gave no, I'm just kidding. It was rather youthful. Now that I know it's like a look back into the teenage years, that is sort of a good way to look at the album. It is consistent, but it's consistent in the sort of same kind of vein that RTJ was consistent. Gore, I'm going to give it 5.8.
All right. Can recognize that it's not perfect. And I think that's honestly one of the things that I enjoy about it. More music that I could listen to and just kind of broaden my horizons. And, you know, it brings you through adventure. I'm going to give it an 8.1.
Edit fireworks.
Right now, sorry.
Yeah, edit the firework noises over every clapping. The fireworks out. All right, so that's it, right? Drop a
10
comment.
review, like.
Wait, is there fun facts? And or album?
Oh.
Yeah, album cover.
Album.
Yeah, and fun facts. So you better have a lot of fun facts.